Hi everyone, my name is Mariner Sorkabi and I created my lesson plans on e-portfolios and infographics. The reason behind this was I wanted my students to walk away with a solid piece of work that applies beyond classroom learning. I teach general education courses in college, meaning that the students come to my class from different programs. For example, some of them are registered in business administration management, some are in accounting, finance, creative advertising, marketing, international business, and so on. So we deal with a good mix in here, but they all study the same textbook and write the same assignments. I really had to make it more personal and interesting for them, and my research shows ePortfolio does just that. I'm also interested in visual communication. Writing is a big part of my courses, but when working on the searching project, I found a lesson that incorporated infographics into essay writing classes. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. So I adapted the idea for my own business communication report writing project. Now, what is an infographic? It is information plus graphics. I'm going to show you an example here while I explain what an infographic is. Okay, this one doesn't want to click through, but I have backup here. So this is an infographic. It's pretty much, it could be an article, it could be a report, but you can see that the text that is used in the infographic is very light. It highly relies on visual elements like icons and graphs and things like that. So infographics are meant to present information in a graphic way to communicate clearly and quickly using a lot of visual elements. You have seen them on Pinterest, on Instagram, and they're very trendy on social media. There are a lot of different templates to use when you want to create one, or you could start from scratch, doesn't really matter. You could use PowerPoint, softwares like PowerPoint or Adobe Illustrator. If you don't want to use that, there are different software programs out there that provide a lot of templates, graphs, charts, and many of these visual icons that you could use to create your own infographic. So, if students feel comfortable using PowerPoint or even Adobe Illustrator, they can feel free to use any of these tools. This is a link that takes them to a blog from HubSpot. HubSpot does a great job in introducing a lot of new tools and businesses. So this link here actually gives them 15 free infographic templates created in PowerPoint. Some of them you can take a look at them here. They're really cool, and this video here, the tutorial that they have, it's very short. It's just 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes they learn how to edit and customize these templates. If they don't want to use with the same color scheme or font or the information flow, they can change everything around. So it's a good starting point. I like to share that with my students. If they don't want to use PowerPoint or Illustrator, that's fine too. There are a gazillion different types of programs out there that provide free templates, free icons, charts, and graphs. Let's take a look at PictoChart together. My students tried PictoChart and they were happy with how easy it is to create infographics using PictoChart. So you could sign up for a free account. There are advantages and limitations with the free accounts. If you want more features for your business to make it look more professional, then obviously you're going to need to pay for it. But for schoolwork, the free account so far has worked very well. So look at all these cool, really fun templates that they have. So students can choose whatever template they want to use to create their infographic. Once they have their template, then they can customize it based on their audience, the purpose of the work that they're creating. They can incorporate, use any of these icons in here. They can bring their tables into Piktochart, and then Piktochart will generate charts and graphs and all sorts of visual elements. The only thing to remember about Piktochart is that they need to publish their work. So let's say you assign an infographic to the class, they create the assignment, and you want them to share it on the on school's Blackboard. They cannot just copy and paste this URL on Blackboard because this won't give access. They have to publish it, number one. Number two, they have to share the shareable link with others, or nobody will have access to their work. So that's the only thing they need to learn to do. If with PowerPoint and Illustrator, they just attach the file. With Piktochart, create the infogram, and easily they have to publish their work before they share it, and then they have to share the shareable link. So I have other options in here. They all work similarly. The free account offers few uses and few of the features that they have, but it will do for schoolwork. Now the product and the process. This summer, I tried to pilot this with my summer semester students in my business communication course, and I had them create an infographic that summarizes their research finding. So in my class, students work in groups to create and to write a formal report. So the formal report has a lot of different components to it, and they have to conduct primary and secondary research and show their synthesis of information as well. They have to create graphs, charts, incorporate images and all of that, illustrations into their report. So halfway through the research process, I've asked my students to create a report using an infographic that summarizes the research finding. There are some advantages to this. Number one, they can visualize the findings of their research process, and they can see what it is that they have learned so far in a visual way, which is very quick to understand. Number two, I get to see where they are in the process, if they have done their due diligence in the research or not. And they're given an opportunity to also interpret information, visual information. When I was working on my lesson plan, I came up with a few ideas. I'm going to show you my students' work from it was about 2 weeks ago that they submitted this work. So let me just click on this student work sample. So a group of students decided to do the report on finding a job in the digital world. So they created this infographic. Now, I did not discuss the design elements in class with them. What I did was to share a lot of tutorials, a lot of samples, and I gave them the assignment. So they had to go out there and learn how to use these tools like Piktochart. I gave them different tools, and they had to work it out. So I didn't really teach them the design elements. I didn't teach them about how colors work with one another, the space, the visual space, and the font and everything. So they learned that on their own, even if they didn't know it. So this was a group that are mostly from our creative advertising or marketing programs. So they're more familiar with these design concepts than other students that come from, let's say, customs or accounting programs. Now, what I will do differently the next time around, I will have an in-class hands-on activity through which I will also discuss the design elements. So I was thinking of, let me just go back to that PowerPoint. I was thinking of introducing the tools in class, sharing the tutorials and the examples, and then have them create a very tiny infographic in class. For example, it could be about their favorite recipe or their hobby or even their favorite trip that they've taken. So a very small assignment that really shows the design elements and how they could use these templates and the features, the icons, the charts and everything, bring all of this together to tell a story. And that's the purpose of an infographic, to tell a story visually. So I think that will help them with the learning curve that there is with any new technology tool. I recommend that we share with them the rubric for the assignment early in the process, because they put a lot of time and effort into creating these assignments. And if they don't know what the expectations are, they may not create something that we want them to create. So it's better to share the rubric and a checklist with them. So from the very beginning, they can align the creation with our expectations. I also think it's extremely important that the students understand why we give them these assignments. Some of them think that it's just for the grade, it's just the class assignment, they have to get it done and get it over with. But we know that that's not the only reason. There's always a greater purpose behind every assessment that we do. So discussing the purpose and how the assignment is going to benefit them in the future beyond the classroom is very important. I always share with them the infographics, in this example, the infographics that are created in different well-known companies, and I tell them that this is not just for the class learning purposes. This is basically expected of you in today's workplace. So these skills are really valuable and transferable. My other lesson was about e-portfolio, so simply electronic portfolios. The reason is I really think if we can link learning to something beyond classroom walls and make it personal for the students, and give them the opportunity to showcase their skills and their hard work to potential employers, it's empowering, it is powerful, it's empowering, and it is motivating. Plus, they can share this on their LinkedIn profiles, they can share this on their resume, they can go to interviews talking about these portfolios, and they have something ready to show. So they don't have to work on it, and they're doing these assignments anyway. They're working on these projects, not just in my classes, but in throughout their academic career. So why not give them an opportunity to showcase the work that they have done? And it also builds on their confidence, builds awareness, and gives them some sort of online presence, which I think is very valuable. So the skills that they learn by creating the e-portfolio is highly transferable. I want to encourage them to bring and to upload the projects they complete in other courses into this portfolio as well, and probably their hobbies, because I have a lot of students who create music, who create a lot of video clips. Why not bring all of that into one place, just organize the information and present it professionally? So the tools that I will introduce for this specific assignment is Weebly and WordPress. I've worked with both of these before. They make website creation a lot easier than it used to be back in the time. So Weebly is basically, once you have your material ready to go, it's only the matter of drag and drop. They have tons of different templates depending on what you want to do. So you could sign up for an educational account. It's free, and the templates are good. They also have a lot of images you can use, and the copyright and everything has been taken care of. So I really enjoyed working with Weebly. WordPress, again, it also offers a lot of different templates for many different reasons depending on what you're doing. They have templates for portfolios specifically, so it makes it a lot easier for the students if they're not into design and things like that. If students know other tools that they feel comfortable with, they worked with those before, I have no objection if they want to use those as well. But these are the tools that I will be introducing. So the purpose of this assignment is to bring all of their major assignments and projects into one place, similar to what we did in our EDU709 class with the personal wikis that we created. So we'll link up all of these assignments in one place. Everything is just right there, and it's just one click away. When I created my lesson plan on the ePortfolio, I thought of several ideas and I wanted to share those with you guys here. I think doing a demo website in class with this student is very important. It kind of relieves all of the pressure and stress of not knowing how to do it. So for this reason, you're going to need to have some ready-to-go files, like some text, images, audio file, and some video files. Share these files with your students if you decide to do this with them. prior to the lesson. Make sure everybody has those files ready to go. And then create a very simple worksheet with easy to follow set of instructions for the students, and have them follow your steps in the class. So at the end of this lesson, everybody will have the same website created. They may have different color schemes, but the content of it, the number of the pages, and the navigation of information, they all look identical. So this is like a demo lesson. It's a mock website that they get to create when they're in class. They could use this later on to create their portfolio, modify it for their own needs, or they could start from scratch when they are creating their own portfolios. But again, it just helps with the learning curve. When we're doing this, we have to discuss with them the main web design concepts like information navigation and about the flow of information and how colors work together with the font and everything else. It's very important to share tutorials with them, tutorials that cover all of these tools. So have something on Weebly and have something on WordPress. YouTube is just full of great tutorials. And I recommend having a minimum page number criteria for the sake of consistency. So you won't end up getting a portfolio that has only one page and then another portfolio that has 10 different pages. Have a minimum, but don't limit them. If they want to have more pages, they're more than welcome to have more pages on them. And like I said, encourage them to bring their other projects into this portfolio. If they're creating it, then why not bring more work to this? The learning outcomes include learning how to interpret visual information, how to create infographics using the technology tools that we discussed. Students also learn how to tell a story visually. With the infographic, they're going to have to translate the raw data, the numbers, the statistics, the figures into charts and graphs to tell a story. So that is also something that is expected in the workplace. They will learn how to use Weebly and WordPress to design and build online portfolios, and they will learn how to integrate different types of media into their portfolios and all sorts of websites. They can also think about their online presence and personal branding, how they want to be known in the world, in the industry that they're stepping into. That pretty much wraps up my 2 lessons. I thank you for your time, and I hope this gives you some ideas for your own lessons. Thank you. Bye-bye.